Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the AACFB's 2026 Meet the Funder webinar series. My name is Monica Harper. I'm the Executive Director of the AACFB, and I'll be your host. Our presenter today is John Boddigheimer from 4 Hour Funding. 4 Hour Funding is both a funding source member and a platinum sponsor of the AACFB, and I'd like to thank them for their support of the association. Before I introduce John, I'd like to go over a few items to make this webinar more enjoyable and informative for everyone. During the presentation, you should see a Q&A box that allows you to ask questions. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit them in the box and they will be answered by the end of the webinar. Please reserve the chat box for communication between attendees. The entire webinar should take no more than 30 to 45 minutes. And for those of you who would like to review this at a later date, it will be posted on the 2026 Meet the Funder page of the AACFB website, and it will be emailed out to our membership. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to John. It is all yours.
Thank you, Monica. It's a pleasure as always, and it's great to be back talking in front of everybody. First off, to tell you a little bit about 4 Hour Funding. First off, we are in Plano, Texas, which made the news because it is now the new home of the Dallas Stars. So, one interesting fact. We are, of course, a direct equipment lender. We have been in business since 2008, which does make us one of the older members funding members in the association right now. We're roughly 65 employees. We've been in the same building for all 18 years. We went from the smallest tenant in the building to the largest tenant in the building. But believe it or not, after 18 years, I was just telling Monica, we are moving also in Plano, so we will still be in Plano, to a larger, more efficient space for us that's being provisioned as we speak right now. We are also a app only to 400,000 funder, and you will find our credit appetite is A to C credits. So there's not that many A to C credit lenders out there that actually offer equipment really that run from new businesses up to C credits to A credits, but Centra is one of them. First off, why do brokers work with Centra? Like I said, we have the capability to handle virtually every credit application you run across. From A to C credits, our pricing runs from 8% all the way on up to startup rates. You will find we handle app-only transactions to 400,000. We have one of the leading new business equipment financing programs in the industry. You will find we can handle corp-only transactions, and we have perhaps one of the best monthly bonus monthly bonus programs in the industry. To talk a little bit about our monthly bonus program, you can get with as little as 2 transactions, you can hit the first tier in bonus of 1%. 3 transactions over 200,000 gets you a 2% bonus. And we have a third tier. This tier was added this year, which is 2.5% of your total monthly fundings if you go over 500,000 with 4 transactions. And the nice thing about our bonus program, I should mention, a lot of funders do have bonus programs, but usually they have a very long time period they're working on. Some are done quarterly, some are done yearly. And if you have a bad month or a bad quarter, you feel like you're out of it. With the Centra bonus program, it is a monthly program. So it resets each and every month, and it pays out monthly also. So it is a fantastic feature to our program that a lot of brokers really do enjoy. The recent updates to our program this year, like I said, we did sweeten our broker bonus program. In fact, we used to, for our better tiers, our 1A and 1B tiers, they did not count to the bonus program. They do count now. We also added a cashback program. It is possible for when you get somebody approved for you to add cash back to the customer. And there are some very nice features to that program. And it's also done at the same rate as the equipment. Also, I want to really talk about some of the credit requirements. We'll go over that here in a few minutes. We did add an additional tier to our new business program, tier 6, to expand out how much we're doing in the new business program. We have a online pricing calculator and quoting tool now that comes with every approval. And you are able to build a number of unique contract features in every funding now with Central Funding. Now, one thing I do want to mention, we will be offering a little contest here. If you pay attention very carefully, we're going to ask a question at the very end of this presentation. And the first 10 people to give an answer will get a $20 Amazon gift card. So just to give you a little incentive to pay attention. First off, our application credit requirements. Again, we do for a new business program, 0 to 2 years in business. And you're going to find we also offer, of course, an existing business program that's 2+ years in business. Our minimum credit score is a 590 FICO. For the new business program, we do require a 650 FICO. And we do require a minimum of 5 trade lines in the credit bureau. You're going to find that we require bank statements after 75,000, and we do require site inspections after 75,000. And one important thing to note is we do not do sale leasebacks or refinancings, but we will do private party sales, but only if it's titled vehicles. We do not do non-titled private party sales. In our 2+ year program, you're going to find we have bank quality rates as low as 8%. You're going to find it is possible to do a no prepayment penalty contract with us. That is a really unique contract in this business. We have deferral programs. We have 6-month step programs. We can offer financing for 72 months if needed. It does have to be stronger collateral for 72 months. And you're going to find every one of our programs, our app-only program runs to 400,000. And it is very much an express, quick funding program. You're going to find that we do close all transactions with DocuSign. One interesting note, we actually, as a company since 2008, have never done an old school document. We've been doing DocuSign documents since 2008. We were one of the first real participants in doing that in the industry. We do have a thin to win program. Every time you get an approval from Centra, if you decide to work the transaction for a little bit less, you do have the automatic ability to bring down your rate 100 basis points, so 1%, as long as you decide to put fewer points on the transaction. Like I said, we do have a no prepayment penalty payoff option for brokers. It is something you do have to select when you're selecting your documents and building your contract. We'll talk a little bit more on that later. And we do have a cashback program, which we did discuss earlier. For example, you can get as much as 20% cash back on any approval amount. So if you get approved for 100,000, you can get up to $20,000 in cash back to the customer. Our new business program starts at, of course, under 2 years in business. You can get up to 75,000 in actual approval amount. And we do have restaurants, though, are limited to 30,000. And our yields that we offer on our new business program are probably as low as anybody in the industry. It's as low as 15% for certain types of collateral. And all licensed tradesmen, if a plumber or electrician, if they have a license, you can provide it to us, they also can qualify for as low as 15%. All right, just to remind everybody that we are going to have this contest, so please pay attention. And also, there are some QR codes you will see. There's one in the bottom right hand of your screen. If you do want a copy of our broker guide that has all this information, hit the QR code in the bottom right hand corner. Now, in terms of our vendor requirements, we require vendors to be 2 years in business. We would like to see them, if they want pre-funding, we want to see them operating out of a commercial business location, and they can't have any open judgments or tax liens. Now, here's what's important understanding. I think a lot of funders present in front of everyone, but they never really tell you what equipment they really love. We make it very apparent in our guide what equipment is preferred. And with our preferred collateral, you actually receive lower pricing. We'll kind of show how that works here coming up. But to talk about our preferred collateral, it's not all hard collateral. A lot of the collateral we prefer is even softer collateral, but we've just had very good experience with it over the years. Centra having 18 years of history behind it, we have a huge amount of data behind us and understanding what kinds of collateral we do best in, what we understand the most. For example, you'll find animal lodgings, dog kennels, what have you. We do a lot of those, and those get preferred rates from us. Same thing with balers. We do a lot of car wash equipment. Any kind of construction equipment, we love it. That's on our preferred list. Food manufacturing equipment, the food production type equipment you see that a lot of food manufacturers use. We love that kind of collateral also. Forklifts. The other thing at Centra, we do a lot of franchise transactions here. If you do have franchise transactions, please contact the broker rep. We'll show you their name at the end of the presentation here. And you will find that we've worked with pretty much almost every franchisor out there. The other thing people need to realize about us, some people don't like doing solar equipment or HVAC equipment. As long as your customer owns the commercial property, we love that type of transaction, and we do it routinely. And all types of industrial machinery, all types of packaging machinery, you'll find we like machine tools, all the things people like. But there's also some soft collateral like spray booths that we actually really, really enjoy, and you'll find us being very aggressive on that type of collateral. Now, our partially restricted equipment is just, this is a list of equipment that we do it, but we do restrict it in some ways. Again, we do drones. Not a lot of people do drones, but again, they do have to have, it's a max 35,000, unless they, of course, have an actual drone license they can provide us. You're going to find also that cryogenic equipment, we have to see that this is something that they derive most of their revenue from. We're not interested in people trying to add it as a second line of business. And same thing with computers. We don't see that many computer deals anymore. Most technology deals are actually ASPs or they're cloud-based services. We will finance those, but in terms of actual computer equipment, we do keep it to probably a limited amount. The same thing with POS equipment. Prohibited equipment, it's all the standard list of characters you normally run across when you're asking people about equipment. Unfortunately, oil and gas exploration we can't do. That's one of the bigger ones we tend to see. Bitcoin mining equipment, of course, but most of these probably many of you are very, very familiar with because they're on just about everybody's prohibited list. Now we get to the meat on the bone, the actual part of of our credit policy that will really explain to you how we buy. We provide everybody with a credit matrix, and our credit matrix is very specific. In fact, if you have access to PayNet, you can pretty much determine what kind of rate we'll give you on any transaction, and I'll kind of explain how. As you see here, when we're looking at a transaction, you can literally go across and pick out exactly what your customer, what their metrics are. For example, if we're doing an example and a customer is 2 years in business and they have an over 700 credit score, and they're dealing in our preferred collateral, which I showed you earlier, okay? And say, for example, they have about a $10,000 balance. So a very standard small type business. Even if they don't have a PayNet with us, but they have reasonable bank deposit activity, as you can see on this screen, they will actually, in this particular case, this customer's spec'd out at a 2B rate, a 15% rate. But we have 4 factors called bump factors. If it's preferred collateral, what this customer is, if they own the business real estate, if they're over 7 years in business, Or here's a very easy one to hit if they have over 150,000 in bank deposit activity. That gives them those two things there, the preferred collateral and 150,000 bank deposit activity, gives you the ability to drop 500 basis points, 5 full% in rate. So this approval would be issued at 10%. So as you can see, I know a lot of people out there are always trying to determine where should they send this transaction or that transaction. If you find anything in our preferred collateral list, you're immediately going to get a better deal from us on that transaction. If they own the business real estate, they're going to get a better deal. If they're over 7 years in business, they're going to get a better deal. And if they're over 150K in bank deposit activity, they're going to get a better deal. If you are deciding where to send transactions, look for those key facets of your customer. And if you find any one of them fitting that, you want to send it to Centro for our funding. Now, in terms of these tier bumps we described, they're eligible across every one of our credit tiers. The only time it really doesn't apply is once somebody has a low enough rate at 8%, they don't need any help getting down to 8%. So as you can see here, it's pretty much available on almost every transaction you do. In fact, it's even available on our newer business program. Our new business program, when we have customers own the business real estate, yeah, they get a little bit help in rate. Now, to talk a little bit about our new business matrix, it also it can be a somewhat equipment specific. Based upon your equipment, you will get slotted on your potential lowest rate you're capable of getting. We did add a new tier 6. However, you can see on here that for certain types of equipment, automotive, CNC machines, tools, cranes, dump trucks, even all types of construction equipment, material handling, packaging, pizza ovens. I know people always do a double take when they see pizza ovens on there. But remember, we're choosing our preferred collateral based upon our experience over our last 18 years. And believe it or not, we don't get a lot of pizza ovens back. And so as a result, it shows up here in the new business matrix, and you can take advantage of that. So as you go through there, you go through the same matrix, same way you went through the existing matrix. So you have customers that can get a fantastic yield, a 15 yield on a startup. That's unprecedented in our industry. Now, once you get approved with us, this is a new feature this year. We now have a document checklist that is a online link. You hit it on your approval, and basically you start crafting. First off, you go through the checklist and complete anything missing that you need to get documentation out. But it also has a link for our pricing program. And this is a direct communication link with our funding department. So you can actually see live, real-time status of your documentation requests now. This is our pricing calculator tool, which is also on the same link. You don't really have to do anything but enter how many points you're putting in there. And you will find that it will throw up every potential option your customer has available to them, including all deferrals, whether or not they are eligible for cash back, whether or not you want to do 0 payments to start the contract, or if you want to say sculpt it maybe with a 10% first, just to give the perception of a lower payment, not perception, but to give them a lower payment. You will find all these selections are in there. It gives you every selection. One thing we've had a number of brokers say they love this feature because they can literally call up the customer and talk to him about all the things he's potentially can choose, and they can construct their own document. In fact, you can even add additional doc fee on there up to a certain amount. I think we allow up to a 375 or 500 doc fee. Excuse me, I don't know the exact amount, but you can even add it on the screen. So it does allow you to actually create your own contract. When you do add things such as the Thin to Win program, no interim rent, no prepayment penalty, there are slight upticks in rates. You see for the no prepayment penalty, This is a fantastic feature. This is one where if you're up against competition, most competition runs on a present value basis. They may use the 5% of PV rule for the payoff. They may use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 PV rule. Now, if you're up against somebody like that, and all of a sudden you say, I can give you a present value, I mean, not present value, a no prepayment penalty, whatever the principal balance is in month 24, this is what it is. Boom, you're going to win that particular race with that customer. He's going to choose you because he doesn't understand the concept of present value, and this is a better deal anyway. The other nice thing about this, our no prepayment penalty contract, we actually list the payoff value as an addendum. So if they want to look on month 24 what their payoff value is, it's right there and they can see it for every month going forward. So it really is a fantastic program. Same thing with the cash back. This program is fantastic in that you get cash back. Your customer isn't paying 40, 50, 60, 70% like he's having to do with most merchant cash advance places or most cash advance type places out there that work with commercial companies. The other nice thing is it's amortized over the full term of the contract, and it's all in one contract. So as a result, your customer is getting a great deal. He's getting money at a very efficient price. It's not at a high interest rate, and it's amortized for a longer term. It can be as high as 72 months versus a lot of the amortizations for a lot of the merchant cash advance places are, 6 months, 9 months. Our doc fee schedule, so for your better quality tiers, it's a simple 149, 349 for the higher credit tiers and the higher risk tiers of say 2B, 3A, 3B, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, and the other thing is you can, for our funding, you use your credit card. The customer can use his credit card for the initial payment only. He is allowed to do that. I'll remind everybody, we do have a broker portal. If you are one of our current brokers and don't have Hourglass, which is our broker portal, all you do is click the code right there. You'll see it right there, and we'll get right back with you and we'll get you set up. In terms of your broker reps, we have a very experienced group. We have Mr. Alan Justman. He's been doing this for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. Same thing with Kennedy Gilbertson. Many of you have known them through the years. They're extremely experienced. And they also have a broker relations assistant, Anna Gallo. She's also a second generation in the business. Her father's been in this industry for eons. We will be exhibiting at the 2026 AACFB Commercial Financing Expo. I would ask everybody to come on by. We're there to answer any questions you may have, and you will find that we have a lot of people come up to us first time and say, "Hey, I have an unusual transaction. Would you consider?" We have a tremendous amount of experience at this company. We have many of the people here have worked with me for 30 years or more. So as a result, you're going to find there's not too much we don't know how to. You give us a tough problem, you'll find we can probably solve it. Let's put it that way. All right, now for the Q&A. I will tell everybody we have a question, and that is, what is our maximum size transaction available through our program? If you go to the QR code there and submit your answer, the first 10 people get a $20 Amazon gift card. So I'll open up the floor to any questions people have.
Perfect.
Monica?
We do have a few questions already. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box and we'll get them answered. The first question is, what about sale leasebacks?
Again, we don't do those at all. We don't do sale leasebacks. We'll only do a private party sale too if it is a title piece of equipment.
Okay. Um, from this from Todd, not sure if you were going to touch on this. Would you please talk about your dental program? Just submitted a deal. I'm wondering how you look at these deals. Customer is rate sensitive, likely will do a 24-month term with an early option buyout. So how do you look at the dental program?
We do have a medical dental program. Obviously, to be concise during this presentation, we didn't include it. But both doctors and dentists are available for their time in business based upon their year of license. So it does help in that regard, and they do get preferential pricing.
And I'm not sure if this is a question. It says also on the early buyout, still the same on commission, 50% paid. And if they go through the full term,
Yes,
you get
that's a really good point. You get your full commission regardless if the customer decides to execute on the early buyout feature of our no prepayment penalty.
okay. Paul said 400K, but I'm not sure what that's in reference to. So if you,
I think he's trying to win the contest. You got to scan your answer in. Hit that
oh,
scan button.
okay. Um, what is your soft cost policy? Is it different for franchise business?
Yes, it is. The franchise business tends to be based more or less on the concept of they have I mean, we are financing an actual business model when we do a franchise. So we will do a lot more soft costs. Same thing's true for hotels. They're very similar to franchises. I really should talk a little bit about this right now. About a year and a half ago, we moved from 250 as our max size transaction to 400,000. And it has been the biggest growth aspect of our business. In fact, I think we had, I think, our highest approval month in probably 6 or 7 months here. It's been powered by the larger transactions here recently. And you're going to find that when you're working with soft costs for either hotels or franchises, we're much more forgiving. We'll do some deals that are extremely soft. In fact, predominantly soft in those particular categories. I will say this about our larger business, over 250 to 400,000. I should spend a little bit of time on this because this seems to be one area of extreme growth for us. We're growing by leaps and bounds right now in this one particular area. And in this segment, we try to stay to our preferred collateral list as much as possible. We will consider things above 250K. That's not on a preferred collateral list, but our primary goal is to seek out fundings in that area above 250,000. And again, when you get down to franchises or hotels, you will sometimes find we will do deals almost predominantly in soft collateral.
Perfect. Is the site inspection on the site of where the equipment will be housed or on the equipment?
Um, it's a little bit of both. Most of the time, we're going to want to do it at the customer's location. And we use TruePick for most of ours. So literally, the customer can download the app and do it himself. There are times when we have special pre-funding arrangements with say a vendor who maybe not as desirable, and so we approve him for pre-funding if he can show us the equipment at his location before it's shipped. And in those cases, we do have some done at the vendor location.
Is there an MPC or API that can be utilized to connect the broker system to your portal?
Yes, there is. If you'll contact your broker rep, we do have standard documentation for it. We do have people that API transactions into us all the time.
Perfect. Do you like gas stations?
We love them. We do quite a bit in them. So I would tell you this, that is one segment that a funder has to be very well versed in understanding that particular type of business. We do a tremendous amount of gas station business here. And so you will find that we're extremely receptive. In fact, we do consider that it's not technically on our preferred list, but it's treated like it is on our preferred list. I think we're adding it actually this month to our preferred list.
All right. Is your soft cost allowances 30 to 50% or greater?
Um, Again, this is always somewhat of a credit issue. If it's stronger credit, we'll consider some deals with a high soft cost balance, maybe as high as 50%. Uh, as you start to work with new business transactions, we're going to want to adhere a lot more to the 20% rule.
Okay. And Paul says, thank you for sharing your great product, time, knowledge, and great team. Thank you for this week's restaurant approval. And just let the prospect know they could make the first payment only by credit card.
Okay. Thank you, Paul, and we appreciate you using us.
The next question is, do I need a California lender's license to send you California business?
No, you don't.
Okay. Todd says the portal is great, but when traveling, do you have anything in the works for a broker app, especially to submit docs, etc.?
Well, with our system, even if you're on the road, if you get an approval, the link, we do have an app, and like I said, if contact your broker rep, and he can set you up with Hourglass. However, when you do get an approval, everything you need, as long as you have access to your email approval, it will have a specific link for each individual transaction, and you can basically do everything via that link. You can upload documentation. You can upload things needed to get rid of conditions on the approval, etc. You can even order your documents that way.
Okay. Still wants to know for PayNet, what is the minimum FICO score to consider?
Our minimum FICO score for existing businesses is 590. Now, before everybody does cartwheels and sends in their $300,000 transaction with a guy with a 590 credit bureau, I will tell you this, a 590 credit bureau can get you approved, but it may be a lesser amount. It may be $30,000 max.
Mm.
And of course, as your credit score rises, you can do more. For new businesses, we do require a minimum 650 credit score.
Okay. Do you have a minimum master score for PayNet?
Oh, great question. And you're going to love our response here. While we use PayNet and it's used in our scoring, we do not utilize the PayNet Master Score. Um, um, I love the PayNet people. They're great people. I know them very well. However, their Master Score can sometimes be quite flawed. And that's usually because they're including a lot of small sub 5K amounts in there. And so sometimes it gives either a bad or a false positive on the master score because of those very small dollar accounts. So no, we're just looking for comparable credit history when we're looking in payment.
Okay. Do they need banks on a deal below 75,000?
You do not. However, I will say this, it does improve your scoring with us if we have your banks. Good example, remember I told you bump factors. If someone has over 150,000 in monthly deposits, all right, guess what? When you send it in with the bank, you're going to get a lower rate just because of that bank activity. So you up to 75,000, you don't need bank statements. However, you can get a better rate if you do provide them.
I'm not, so I'll give it just a minute. I don't see any more questions coming in, but I'll give it just a second because as soon as I say there's nothing, then somebody will pop in.
Yeah, I can say this in the interim. I mentioned it earlier. One of our biggest growth products has been our app only 250 to 400K program. If you are working in that way, I think what makes us unique is we're working with a lot of experience here, and most of the people looking at those transactions in our system are extremely experienced. And you're going to find that most people, when they're looking at these middle market type transactions, they treat them like they treat a $300,000 deal like it's a $1 million deal. We do not. It's still very much in the app only realm with us. We try to make it as very light in disclosure as we can. There's obviously times where we may ask for a tax return only, but there's a lot of times where we can, I'd say most of the time we're doing transactions without any additional information, and it's a really great product. So I do ask everybody that does work in that space, that 250 and above, we're a very nice stop for those transactions up to 400K.
Right. Did have a question come in. It says, do you do startup med spa equipment?
Med spas, we do require 3 years time in business. And that's if I pull you back, if you download our guide, you will find our equipment restrictions. That's one of the partially restricted industries we have.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, here's another comment on web-based system. Says it's the easiest to use in the industry. Contract features and pricing, but they work. I think Paul works for you now. Approval link is super slick. Document upload, payment options, integration, most helpful. So
I will say this, that it is a great feature that was added this year. You will find that all of a sudden you literally have, we're starting to get requests from people saying, is there any way I can just print this out? Because they'd love to present it to their customers. But right now it's meant for view only by the broker involved who got the transaction approved. But when you see it, it is absolutely fantastic to see everything possible. It breaks out the payment, everything for each customer, for every type of a contract permutation you could do with us.
okay. They want to know when you're going to be in your new office.
Oh, yes. August 1st, we'll be moving, hopefully. It is a heavy lift, as anybody can attest to. When you've been in one place for 18 years, we went from the smallest tenant in the building to the largest. You can imagine how much stuff we've accumulated. So we've been spending the last month and a half shredding things, throwing things away. It's been quite the process, but we're extremely excited about it. It is a top level building. It brings everybody on the same floor, so it's going to increase the ability for us to work with each other. And the amenities of it are fantastic. We have 3 conference rooms right now on different floors, but now we'll have 3 on the same floor. It even has, for these purposes, even has a podcast room. So
Nice.
it is a finely built location. We're extremely excited about it.
That's it. You'll be lean and mean. You'll be all cleaned up. Everybody.
Yeah, there's a great aspect to moving, and that is you get to throw away a lot of old things you should have thrown away a long time ago.
Amen to that. All right. Well, it looks like that we are at the end of our questions. We had a great response and great interaction. So I want to thank everybody for all the participants and especially our valued funding source member and platinum sponsor for our funding. Thanks for a great job, John. And we invite everyone.
Thank you, Monica, and I always want to thank the association. You guys do the best job in the industry.
Thank you. We want to invite everybody to meet with for our funding in person at our commercial financing expo coming up this October in Irvine, California. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. Take care.